Yeah, I'm sorry. Something happened and the live just to stop. But guess what? We must finish this. This our African culture, marriage stories, love story, culture, custom, power, everything around marriages. We are talking about it. And I was about to deep dive into the little bride. Little bride is another cultural aspect of marriages in across Africa. That is really let's talk about. But now let's look at the significance of little bride as pertaining to family interference in African marriages, in Africans union. I hope you all come back, those who were watching. Facebook dropped the live, but I'm back. So I was talking about the little bride. The little bride, the younger girl who sometimes follow the bride into the new home. They say the parents who said she's there to help, to carry water, to assist with chores, to look after the baby when it's time. Remember, you all know the little bride, right? You know that when the bride price has been paid, they have agreed, they have talked other family member that you need to meet to introduce yourself, that you are the new suitor, you are the new in-law that is coming. When you meet all of those obligations, finally, if they want to really follow the African traditional marriage, there will come a day that they will call the grooms and the bride to sit in front of two families. You exchange drinks. I will deep dive into this on another day. If you enjoy hearing some African cultural aspect, drop it in the comment section. Tell me the one you want to hear about. I will bring it up to you. So when they exchange dream in front of both families to really show to both families that I have accepted to marry your daughter too has accepted to marry me. Eventually they will plan a day that the parents of the grooms will plan and tell all the grooms family people that they will be sending their daughters out for marriage. They will be giving her hands to marriage to the groom's family. And that day the grooms normally send his kinsmen, his people with all the grooms to come to the bride's home, where they invite neighbors or the bride's family to come and give out their daughter's hands in marriage. When they come, they do the normal traditional rite. They send you off to your husband's home. In most cases, when your parents are sending the bride off to her husband's home, they send you with that little bride, who is also very significant in that union. So I want us to deep dive and dissect that little bride in marriages. What do you think is the significance of that? What is the importance of that little bride in marriage? Please drop it in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. They say that she's always there to assist with chores as a newly married wife. She's there maybe to fetch water or to keep you company, because you know they have this belief that men are outgoing. Men are always out there to fetch, to work, to provide for the family. So you, the woman, since you are domestic, you are at home, they want you to have company, you know, just being a new bride, you don't have a child yet, it's just you and your husband, it might be boring. So they give that little bride to accompany you, to keep you company, to stay with you, you know, fetch water, clean the dishes, sweep the floor, just to keep company. And eventually when you have your child down the line, 9 months time, she will assist you with the baby. So we are talking about the little bride. What are your thoughts? But in truth, the little bride, is she just there to assist? As they put it, the big picture is your companion, right? On occasions that they consider men are outgoing, they'll be out there hustling and stuff like that. At least you are a woman, you just got married, you should not be lonely. She will be your companion, your assistant, you know, just be there to assist you. Is it just that assistant, or there is another motive when they send that little bride that we don't know, that it doesn't really show, but it has some significance? Let's see. Because to me, you know, just like we discussed the other day, family interference into union. Some of this union are failing not because the spouses who initially fell in love cannot control their egos. Sometimes it's family interference. We are seeing really clear the case of Regina Daniel and her sister, her mother, her siblings fighting in her husband's home. That is family interference. Probably if it were just Ned Nwoko and Regina, it couldn't have escalated the way it has gone. Because even when the alteration occurred in Ned Nwoko's home, another family person was filming. That's how he got his way into the internet, and before they know, things went out of control. Ned has to come and vindicate himself, and Regina has to come and say her own part. They started going back and forth. So this little bride, sometime when the family, on the day that they are sending you off to your marriage, they send that little bride. Is it just to come and assist as they put the big picture, or there are other motives of this little bride? Is it like their eyes, your parents' eyes into that marriage? That is when family interference started coming into the union. Because to that small girl, messages will go back to your home, you the bride. How the husband treats, how your husband is treating you, what you eat, how you dress, and even if you are happy or you are crying. Do you know that that little bride is their eyes that they have sent to follow you and come? So that will be reporting back to them. Because you know that you just got married. There's no reason for your parent, your mother, to start coming to your home. The real gate is always open when you have your first child. At least at that time, your mother can say it's coming to do omogu, you know, it's coming to assist the new mother, recover, assist her with the baby and stuff like that. But when you just got married, they don't really have a reason to just stop by to visit or spend a night or come to your home. But before they send you off, they give you that little bride. That little bride is their eyes. Beyond assisting you, as they stated when you were going, like they initially give out your hands in marriage, they give you the little bride that, oh, let her go and be a companion to when you have your own baby, and plus your man they consider men to always be out hustling. You should not be lonely at home. Beyond that, know that is their eyes. That little bride, throw them. They will hear feedback if you are happy in that marriage. If you eat well, if you are crying, if you dress well, if they touch you with hand, it will tell them. Because normally as that little bride has come, it will also be like a relay between you and your parent. Probably you'll be sending her back to your father's home, maybe to give food, or maybe their parent will call to come and get food or something. Your parent don't really have access at that time to come to your home. There's no call for, there's no reason for them to start visiting you to maybe when you have your first baby. But that little eyes, that girl's little bride is their eyes. And that's the silent monitoring system that our ancestors created. It has been. They put that little guy, the little bride, as their monitoring system, to be telling them everything that is happening. It has been in, our ancestor has done this. Even before technology could think of camera and whatever to put and monitor you when you don't even know. A way to keep their daughters safe. They tried, you know, they do all of that without camera. No internet then, but they were wise. They know that if we send our daughters, because this is a complete new family, even though they maybe it's somebody from the same community, at least they know, they see them, but they say, you see that trust of actually just leaving their daughter in your hands, even though you have come of good faith, they trust you, they believe you. Maybe they have known your family before just casually as another family in a community, but then they still have that concern of what can be transpiring in the night when we are not there. Even though you look at it like they sold their daughter to you and you have full ownership and they don't have, but they still have that concern. That's why in most cases they send that little bride to come with you. That little bride is their monitoring system with no camera, no internet. Our ancestors practiced that. It has been years and years of practice. What are your thoughts? Let me know. Let me know. Please, you all should give this video a thumb up, share it. Let other people know how marriages are being, intertwined and mingled in African culture. But sometimes, that small bride become a breach, and sometimes she becomes a wall. Because through that small bride, though, even you are the bride. You just left your home now. You still have that homesick. You still miss your home, even though you really want to get married, even though you want to stay in that marriage. But those first few days, few weeks, months, I bet you still hungry in your home. You feel like you want to go back to your daddy and mommy. You still miss that, especially if you were very fine in your home, you are comfortable, you miss it. Then sometimes you maybe during that early stages too, something is there that you really want to convey back home. It's through that little bride. So that little bride is there, it can be serving as a bridge for you to be able to relay something back to your parents. Because when you just got married to, there's absolutely no reason going back to visit your home that you just left. It's not even allowed by some tradition for the bride to visit their home until after several months into the marriages, and the first visit that you make back to your father's home is traditionally honored. There is a celebration. They have a traditional procedure, and you don't go by yourself. They send people with you. They even, some community even name it in the name that appears like you have forgotten the way to your home. So they need people to accompany you to go and show you the way to your father's home. So they always celebrate, they announce it, your first visit back to your parents' home after your wedding. And it doesn't just happen on the first week, first month. It takes a while that you really miss your home. When you come again now, you are really looking at your home, looking at yourself and be like, truly, so I'm a stranger in this compound now. I'm a stranger in my house. It's kind of bittersweet feelings. If you have experienced this, please let me know in the comment section. It's a kind of bittersweet feelings when you really want to be married, you want to stay in that marriage, but then you want to be in your father's home and really be that princess, that daddy's daughter. Then after getting married with that restrictions, you don't go back to your father's home till they officially send a group of women normally to accompany you, then go and show you the road to your father's home. The assumption is that all this while that you have not gone to your father's home, you've forgotten the way. Then when you go, you come now, it's a big celebration. They are really happy. But you are missing your daddy's home, and you are trying to get used to your new home. In your mind of mine, you feel like, should I really just coming back to our home? And that's another thing they don't tell you by yourself, because you can go and don't come back. You can just go and remain, because you know where an old thing where you have been all your life, I don't care how it is, you always will like it. Sometimes that's the reason why they don't send you by yourself. They don't let you go by yourself. They assume that you've forgotten the road to go back to your home. They look some group of women, you cook food, is a celebration. You go, so that when it's time, they'll say, let's go back. Oh, don't forget, you don't belong here anymore. You are not a visitor. They know that if they send you by yourself, you go and don't come back. Who would they ask? They come and ask your daddy. Your daddy will be like, no, I did not see her. Oh, why did you let my daughter come back? I have kept her. She's not going again. So they always send you a group of women. Then you come and visit your parents again. Till that first visit is met, you will not come back to your home. Then when you come for that first visit, at least that part of the cultural aspect has been clear. You can, on your own, always want to go visit, stop by, say hi. Because from the look of things, you don't belong in that compound anymore, in as much as you want to be there. But the little bride, because the same girl who was sent to help can be influenced by the husband, the co-wives, and even sometimes great. When I say co-wife, this is in the case of a polygamous. If it's in the polygamous home, other people can influence the thought of that girl. They can intoxicate the mind of that little bride. They can even influence the way she goes and report back to your parent on your well-being, on things that are happening. And your husband too can intoxicate the mind of that girl. So it's always the first family interference into the union. And even the way you treat that little bride too, it counts. It counts a lot. Because some men will be like, some men don't really like the idea of that little bride. But from the African culture and from the look of things, they never really ask your opinion, you, the grooms, and your family. It's just a bonus. It's like you married our daughter, will give a dash. It's like I don't know, it's like internship. So that little bride, they always look like, okay, that is where you all will, they will see your expertism on how to raise a child, how to treat a child. So before you get ready to have your own child, you'll be training on that little bride that was sent with you. The way you treat that little bride too matters a lot. If you don't treat the little bride well, it's a problem. That's where problem can start in your marriage. Because that little bride is as important, and even I should put it more important than your wife. And sometimes your opinions is not even asked. They don't even ask you if they should send a little bride or not. And most of the time, those husbands don't really, since because they don't have a say. Guess who is in the building? Hey, oh my 360 vibe circle. Let's hear my one and only Mommy Ngwe. Hey. Mommy Ngwe, oh, welcome. We've been gisting. It's a federal holiday here, so I want to keep my full circle warm and funky. We are celebrating Veterans Day. We are honoring our veterans. My own Odugu, SG16, is also a veteran. So through him, I shout out to all the veterans out there, and I will say, if you know a veterans, drop a heart for them, drop a comment. Show them that gratitude. Let them know that we appreciate them. They are out there sacrificing for us. Let's appreciate them. Today is the day that we pause and reflect. And with celebrating this day, I was just looking on some cultural aspect when it comes to African marriages, and to relate it with what is happening online. We are seeing Regina and Ned, their typical African marriage, a union that is built on African custom. There was no church wedding, there was no civil wedding. Ned married Regina honorably, customarily, culturally, in his tradition. And now they are at the point of dissolving. How would the tradition impact this marriage? The marriage has been fruitful. They have 2 children. How would that impact it? So we have dissected the aspect of that bride price. We have dissected the aspect of bride price. How significant is that token of exchange, that token of seriousness? That some people label it as they bought your daughter, and some people is like, I pay for it. So you like trade by barter. You pay and I buy. You give your daughter to me, or you sell your daughter, I buy. And it comes with a lot of impact. Some people be like, now I pay the bride price, I own you. You are mine, you are my property. And the more they pay, the more entitled they become. On the other hand, it weakens some minds of some parents. They be like, I cannot invest in you, I cannot waste my money in you, because you end up in somebody's house. You will not bear my name. Even you become the president, is that person's. And when they're distributing their property, they don't even count the girl's child. It diminishes the girl's child. It makes them look less of a human being that God created them. But the time is changing. The culture are being, we still respect our root, but we are just revolutionizing our roots. We're revolutionizing it. We're changing things. We are not stuck. And even you are that girl, if your parents don't have the potential to really empower you as a woman, the world is open, the world is connected. You are not alone. Don't die behind I don't have nobody to raise me. Even if you are just selling that banga bush that Elizabeth Teke sang, you are selling salt, you are selling whatever you are selling. Spice it up. Stand out beyond the competition. Stand out. Find yourself. Put value into yourself. Find yourself before you start finding a husband. Value yourself before a man that you find will value you. Do something, because when you come to that married union with some value, with something that you can offer, even though that token was exchanged, you don't longer be looked upon as a property. You are not looking like you are just coming to consume. you're actually bringing something. In that way, you have respect to yourself. Even though you drop your father's, your parents' name, but you still have respect to them. You bring respect and honor to your own family name. And it will even help many marriages to last long, because a lot of dependence will be reduced. The man will not cry every day like, oh, the responsibility is too much. Even a lot of homes now in Africa are being run by women that are actually feeding the men. And they are doing it with dignity and pride, even though they bear the husband's name. So we look at all of those aspects. When you even pay the bride price, the woman dies, or the marriage ever dissolve, the woman goes away, bear other children. If that bride price were not refunded according to African tradition, they are still the first husband's children. If the bride price was never paid, the woman later on pass on, the parent of the girls has the right to bury their daughter. You never really do that exchange. So it's really different. And then when the marriage dissolves, sometimes, since African culture gives a lot of respect, power to men, and women are almost nothing and almost powerless or even valueless in African culture, we are trying to reverse the narrative. When the union is dissolved, most likely the woman goes empty-handed. They don't live with anything. They don't go with anything. Unlike a civil marriage that has been signed in the court of law, when the civil court now want to dissolve the marriage, they look into a lot of aspects of things. You hear spousal support, you build this together, you build that together, she can have this percentage, he can have this percentage. But traditional marriage, it was just that token of bride price that bind the family together. At most, they'll be like, come and return my bride price, or I'm coming to return your bride price. And they don't really look at who is benefiting, who is losing. Those are some of the things. So we were digesting into that, and then we were talking about family influence into a union when the marriage is being consumed, it's being united. Then we were looking at the aspect of little bride, Mommy. When you remember, I was telling Mommy Grace that I was your small dash. I was a small dash. So we were looking at that aspect of dash. Do you know that dash like that, they always give it like it's coming to assist you, or it's coming to be with you for the time till when you have your own child, it will assist you to carry the child, fetch water, sweep the floor. It's beyond that. Even in our ancestral time, they use that as their own monitoring system. That is the beginning of family influence into that union. And sometimes those little brides are always sent with or without the husband consent. You come for one, but they give you one plus dash. So you just have the one. Sometimes some men doesn't just take it out because they look like, why are they imposing responsibility on me? I don't even have my own child yet. Why should I have to? Because when that little bride comes, you are in charge of feeding, shelter, school fees, uniform, hospital. That is your first child, as a matter of fact, that they have given. It's like they want to see your capability of raising a child from that one. Hi, Mickey, thanks for joining. So they will be testing your capability of being able to raise a child from that one. The way you treat that one will tell them the way you eventually treat your own children. But in most cases, it never really depict on how you're going to treat your children, because some men don't take it like that. They don't really welcome the idea. They don't accept it, but they don't have that voice to say no. They don't have that voice to deny it. Some in this era, they will say no. They will say no. But some will just stay quiet, but they will not do better. They will just be indifferent. It will instead be you, the bride, now you'll be struggling, maybe to please your parent, to, trying to cover up, maybe trying to buy a new dress for that child, just so your parents should not see that you and that your husband better not the following now. We're not there. You are trying, maybe you are even having disagreement with your husband because of that little bride that they just said. And it's not really going. And then the husband maybe if the child is sick, the husband don't want to take to the hospital. The husband don't want to buy shoes. The husband don't want to pay the school fees. The husband don't want to send to school. Then you'll be struggling. Maybe from the feeding money that they are giving, you are increasing to save something to help that child, just so your parents should not think that they are disappointed in you and your husband. And through that child, it can build that marriage. Through that child, it can destroy the marriage. Because that child will be giving back feedback to your parent. If you cry in the night, if you were beaten, if you were happy, if you dress well, you all eat well. Because when you just get married, know you that your parent would hardly just visit you those first weeks, first month, few years into the marriage. Sometimes when they open way for them is when you have your first child. The mother of the bride now can easily come in and say, coming to do omogo to help the new mother get strength, recover from birth and stuff like a postpartum care. But prior to that, they don't really have that open way to come. But through that little bride, they will see, they will hear things. And sometimes things that they hear are not even true because they are being influenced. Probably your husband too can intoxicate the child minds. He can influence the mind, especially if he's against, if he did not welcome the idea of giving him a little bride. Sometimes if he's in a polygamous home, it can be other wives. They can say things that will not be good for the child, and the child will take it to your parent, and they will start making your parent think that their daughter is not in safe hands. Oh, that marriage might not last. They might be looking for a way to start influencing your own ideas and telling you stuff. And before long, you see, if your wife is struggling to cover up certain things, maybe you don't accept the child and stuff like that, her loyalty to you will start reducing. The same family that sent the little girl will end up being misled by her or by some word that the child will bring back to them that is not even true. And then you look the whole thing like the whole assistant idea or the system that was built to protect their daughter, the bride, is the same system that will be used to break the whole union. So we love our tradition, but we must also learn that things are changing, things are updating. We must use that tradition with wisdom. Yes, some marriages fail from day one because of that little bride that was sent with the bride. The system that the ancestor has been using, thinking that they are sending, because even though they send their child to that family, they still have that love, they still have that fear of what will be happening there. At the dawn of the day, what happens behind closed doors. It might be a family in the community that they know very well, but that love to let go of their daughter, that string, some of them use a little bride as a bridge to see half eyes, to see like their eyes into the union. And at the end of the day, some union fail because from day one, that little bride accompanied the union. But their primary motive was to support them. It was like a testing ground for them to learn how to start raising the child before their own ever come. And now when the marriage fails, in Africa, a woman who leaves her husband often carries shame, even when she was never treated right. We are seeing a lot of people in this Regina and Annette. Some people are saying that Regina should have endured. She already have 2 children. Let her sit there and continue, because the internet is divided, and continue, crying in the Lamborghini, as she said. While the other group are saying that even though she enjoyed, it doesn't mean that if it's not sweet again, she should stay there and die. And sometimes, when a marriage fails, the woman's family will go back to return the bride price to prove that the union is officially over. So the husband, the groom's family don't have anything to do over their daughter. But what happens when she has children? What happens when she's no longer young? When she has built her life around that home and around that man and around that name? What happened? In some communities, the man refuses to take back the bride price because he doesn't want to lose power over the woman. In order, they take it back, but still hold her name in their mouth forever. And yet no one asks about the woman's dignity, her years of service, the children that she has born, the house that she has helped to build. Nobody talks about it. The culture forgives the man quickly. As a matter of fact, as a woman in African culture, that union that was joined, either by tradition, by church, by court, make sure it doesn't fail. Because if it fails, automatically you're a failed woman. You were not woman enough to keep your home. You were not woman enough to endure that suffering. You were not woman enough to be handled as a slave. You were not woman enough to be abused. You were not woman enough to endure. Shame on you. Yes, that's the African culture. They will blame you, the woman. The men quickly forgiven by the society, all their deeds forgotten. And the next day, there's another woman willing and accepting to marry the same man, regardless of the whatever narrative that you put out there. And they always look like you, a woman who has already been married, and that's it for you. No other man in their right senses can come for you to marry you again. If you were a good woman, why did your first marriage fail? Because it's always the woman's fault. But the question is it really the woman's fault, or is it just the woman's fault? They always question the woman endlessly. They'll forgive the men, they'll let them go. They will say she should have endured. But endurance is not virtue when it destroys the souls. Even the most complicated parts, that they don't even talk about it. When that marriage dissolves, property and custody. In a lot of African marriages, especially traditional ones, there is no legal document, no court registrations, no share title, no formal proof, just that bride price and the list of things that you saw the families. And the ceremonies that happens, or the few people that witness it, that's the whole traditional thing. It's just aura. You can only tell because nothing was documented, nothing was written. It's only the few witnesses that witness the ceremony, and then the dowry list, the bride price. The bride price become the only receipt of that marriage, as one of the people who was watching earlier commented that bride price is the certificate of that marriage. So when the marriage breaks, or when the man dies, everything becomes a fight for ownerships. The house, the land, the business, even the children suddenly becomes items that people want to claim. The woman who cooked, supported, and sacrificed for years can even find herself living with nothing. Because on paper, or in their mind, since it was not really on paper, she doesn't really exist. In African culture, a woman, even if they say it's a union, if the union is not on equal level, so it's just a come together that somebody is on top and another one is lower. And if the man was wealthy or powerful, the family often come for everything. They say she was only a wife, not a legal partner. And when children are involved, the pain cuts deeper. Because in some customs, children belongs to the father's family. You know, they bear the man's name is theirs. Like the bride and his family has nothing to do with those children. That's African culture. So if the marriage ends, or the husband is no longer there, the woman is told to pack her bags and leave the children behind. In some homes, it happens. They forgot that she carried them in her womb, so they are her children too, even though the children are not bearing her name. She bled for them, she fed them, she stayed up in the night when they were sick. The culture only sees bloodline. not the sacrifices. And that's where we must ask ourselves, where does love end? Where does ownership begins? The sad truth, my Fuseku, Dan 365 family, is that this is not just happening in villages. It's happening in modern homes, wealthy homes, even celebrity homes. If nobody even remember anybody, Ned Wonko and Regina, they are still happening live. And we have recount like our legend, Tubaba, just dropped one wife and is moving on with another. We've seen Yo Edochie just when I had a baby outside before we could blink our eye, he bring a 1-year-old baby and the mother to the wife for 20 years and the first wife walk away. We've seen it repeatedly and it will still happen. Some of these things is happening, but we don't know how the tradition is treating it, the civil law, the customary court. And, you know, women want to move away from things that look right and now it's not looking right in their eyes. But sometimes they're being tied down by this tradition. Not only women, even men too. Baba just left. It was not the wife that left him. It's happening in modern homes. Networko is worthy. Money does not stop things from happening. And when a man passed away without legal document, the wives start to fight each other. Especially in polygamous home like the Netwonko's home. That's a typical, pure, traditional African kind of marriage. One man, many wives. If he pass away without having things outlined, that is a ground for fight for his children, for his wives. And it does not only apply in polygamous home. I, as a licensed financial professional, these are moments that we really talk about being part of the solutions. Putting things straight. Putting your wills documented and keeping in a safe place. Putting your wish, your mind, your thought on how you want things to happen when you're unable to make those kind of decisions. Documented and keep in a safe place. Labeling things and naming them, who will own what, who will say what, who will decide on your hurt when you cannot decide by yourself. It's not only when you pass on. Having a will is of prime importance. And having above all a trust is a big brother for will. A trust will avoid a lot of cost and time, unlike a will. When you have a will, it solves the problem, but it does not completely solve it. With a will, it will take time for your property to be dispersed to the people you left. It will take verification and debtors to come and collect their share before your property ever get to the end point. But with trust, it's different. As a licensed financial professor that I always sit here to talk with you, fix your life, document those things, put them on paper. Put them in a safe legal place. Use an expert to do it for you. If you don't know where to go, ask a question for me. Slide in the inbox. Let's talk. It's not only about African culture that we are talking here. When a woman wants a divorce, she discovers that she has no property. She has no rights of ownership of anything because her marriage wasn't legally binding. Regina just cried out. She said, if to say we have been married in any legal court, I could have filed for a divorce since. And a lot of women who has married wealthy men like Regina, who are legally married, it's even always a cause for them to divorce the marriage because they're going to get a lump sum of from that man's wealth when the marriage is dissolved. And when the children are involved, family tear each other apart. If you go without putting something on a document in the legal way and kept in a safe place. the whole love will turn into a war. And so here is the question every young African woman should ask before she say, I do. Am I marrying a person? Or I'm entering a contract no one has explained to me, maybe just sign it. You know, they say you did not read the detail prints. Before you say, I do, ask yourself. And here's what every man should also ask himself too. Do I want a wife? Or do I want ownership? Because you have paid that token of exchange, token of honor, called bride price. When you pay that bride price, does that little girl, that princess, I don't care how old she is, she's still a princess to her parent. Does she become your property? Do you not own her because you paid that money? We must begin to balance tradition with truth. Respect our roots, yes, but also protect our rights. Because the world is changing. And the same culture that once protected women is now sometimes used to silence them. So my food circle, before I close tonight, I want you to think about this. Every time you see a grand African wedding, a ceremony, the luxuries, the lace, the lights, the food, the dance, remember that the true strength of a marriage isn't the ceremony. It is in the covenant that the two people are taken to come together. Bride price is not the price of peace. That when you pay the bride price to the bride parent, the daughter will never see peace for the rest of her life. You pay to her parent, but she suffers. And some parents who even collect those bride price, it's sad to say that some of them ask amount of money from the grooms to be paid for their daughter's head when they have never spent entirely everything summed together that amount on that girl. Some parents are very irresponsible. And at that point, those kind of parents don't even care. They can ask anything. They ask it in a way that even make the man bitter. The man becomes so brutal and treat you anyhow because it's pain with the amount of money your parent asks. And he start treating you like the property for whom he paid for. Bride price is not the price of peace. Family involvement is not also a license of control. Sometimes families set in and they want to set the tune to that wedding. Some of them want to exemplify their own marriages that was even failed or it was never an example that you can look up to. They want to bring that same thing that we experienced in their own marriages into their children's marriages. And property ownerships, that should never be about gender. It should just be about justice. Yes, you hear me. If you're a man and you have those girls' child, create provision for them just as you are creating for the boy's child. Women can also own. We love our tradition. We are deep-rooted into our culture. But let the culture have justice for the women. Because when two people build a home together, that home belongs to both, whether tradition say it or not. Let's stop pretending that suffering is some form of sacred or is scarce. Let's start teaching our children that partnership is the new tradition. You get a partner and not a competitor. To every woman listening to me tonight, protect your name, protect your peace, your papers, and your power. Be enthusiastic, be encouraged, be unstoppable, break limits, break boundaries, excel, be that fearless woman, becomes the dreams that you always has thought of. Work hard, fight for your future and the future of your children. Be that example, be a role model. And don't let any marriage kill your dreams. To every man, to our Odugus, love her as a partner, not as a possession. We respect and honor you for paying something on our head, for paying the bride price. We appreciate you. Yes, we do. We truly do. We take your last name with joy and love and dignity. Just encourage us. Every win that we win is your win. Because you never hear them sound my father's name. Not anymore. Regardless of my status in the society. If I'm a doctor today, you will hear Dr. Mrs. Njong. That's the new name. If I'm a lawyer, you hear her lord. How did they address female lawyer? Her lordship. Her lordship, Mrs. This. If I'm the president, you hear Her Excellency. My father's name will not pop up. It's your name. So if we are big for you. Support us, encourage us. Don't see us as competitors. Don't see us as intimidators. Work with us. When we are big, you are big. It's you. Because you paid that small thing on our head. That do small thing now, you know. And we appreciate you all for that. Because the day love turns into control, it's no longer love. It's a cage. Oh, it has been a long storytelling night. The day has gone into the afternoon where I am. I started in the AM and now it's in the PM. I am your host, Dine 360 Vibe. And this afternoon we've talked about the hidden cost of love. From bride price to broken promises. From family influence to forgotten women. If tonight words touch you, share them. Because silence has protected too much pain for our daughters, most especially. I don't know if men really hide their own pain, but we don't really see men crying like that. They swallow it up because they have pride to keep, they have ego, they have name to protect. But let's stop letting our sisters, our daughter whine, caging on in pain, trying to endure to prove their virtue. Let's build new homes, not just new houses. Let's build marriages that value mutual respect and not cultured control. And may we all find love that doesn't need witnesses to prove that it is real. I love you all, my 365 family. If you enjoyed the story about African culture, the hidden cost of love, the bride price tag, the little price, the little bride that is being sent with the bride during the send-off, property inheritance, the significance of names, all we join and touch them in this story. Please leave your thought, your comment, and if you appreciate the story that I'm bringing, please share so it can reach many people. Drop any other African cultural aspect that you want me to come and digest or elaborate on. We use real people's story. Regina, Dania, and Ned is their typical African cultural home. They never see the four walls of church with their marriages, neither the civil court with their marriages. It ended at the traditional level. It was going, everything was traditional. It's a typical polygamous home, and most African marriages from time in ancient of days has been polygamy is a normal thing across African home. Having many children is a normal thing. Not female children not being entitled to property ownership has been years infinite. Not spending or empowering female children has been the culture of Africa. And now things are changing. Things are revolutionizing. Where are you? What is your thought? What do you think? Let me know. And thank you all, family. One love. Peace. Let me end the live. Thank you all. And before I go, let me shout. I see Destiny Block Official. Hi, Destiny. Thank you. Momingwe is our mom. She always supports. She's always here. Ojala 2123 Leonard T. Kwefi. Destiny Block Official. Thank you for joining. Momingwe, thank you, and you are in here. I do really appreciate it. I see other people have joined before now. Franklin Ache. I saw, I cannot even remember the name. The live dropped before it come back. So thank you so much. Until then, this was it for today. Enjoy the rest of your Veteran Day. Drop a word to any veteran that you know. If you don't know anyone, just show your gratitude generally across to all of them. That we really appreciate their effort. We see them. We know that they are there sacrificing for us so that we can have this stable economy. Thank you. Bye-bye.